I think we are
Okay.
live. I mean, uh, I think we are live. अरे लेट क्यों बोलते हो when we are starting exactly on the dot. Hi Gaurav, hi Krishna, hi
Yes.
Yash, hi Arnav, hi Sajaz. Nice. How is your IPMAT prep going? Good or could be better? So we are 15 seconds in. I'll put a message on WhatsApp quickly. I'll take care of the chats. This is the agenda for today. Vani थोड़ा और zoom in कर दो.
Yes.
Let's put this over here.
I think we've had a major upgrade from the last time. We're using Figma now to present.
हाँ.
Before it was whimsical, it looks different. It looks more premium now.
For those who don't know, एक बार introduce कर लेते हैं because we might have a lot of new people with us in 2 minutes. अभी let's just quickly put the message in every group that we have.
Also, they're saying that your voice is low, so
Let
can
me
you try to change your mic
Yep.
once?
Let me try changing my mic. एक second. Hello. Hello. Hold on. Let me try switching off the fan. Maybe that would help. So am I audible now? Is it louder? Is it better? Let me open the comments. क्या बोलते हैं chats इधर and mobile.
Are you sure it's not some setting? Because that could also be the case.
नहीं setting is fully put to the right side. So setting to put a high अभी. Let me try increasing more. Is it better now? Say something.
Okay, somebody said it's way better, so.
Way better. Lovely. ठीक है, we have 91 people in, and just like Virat Kohli, we'll wait for 100. Cool, we have 95 people in. Lovely.
Oh yeah, so we were introducing ourselves.
Yes.
Bhavesh is from I'm Ranchi. He got done with his BBA this year. He's done with it with his 3 years, and now we'll be giving CAT. I am currently in my second year. I'm in my internship period, so we have a social internship of 2 months. Yeah.
So I got done with my 3 years at IIM Ranchi. We were of the first batch, and it was a very reluctant choice, which I do not regret right now. So this is also something which you should know. Ki I filled up the form a couple of hours before the deadline. So do fill up as many forms as possible. You cannot really depend on one college because the best college is a college that selects you.
And with that, Setka deadline is today, so make sure you fill it up.
Perfect. So Vani,
Which
take it
is for
forward.
Symbiosis, Pune. Yes. Okay. So I think we can get started. We have a few. Also, somebody's saying that my voice is very loud and yours is low.
Is it better now?
Uh,
Is my voice better? आई हैव इंक्रीज इट पूरा राइट साइड स्लाइडर है ना ऐसे पूरा डाल दिया मैंने इससे ज़्यादा तो नहीं होगा वॉइस ओके
okay. I think we'll start.
यस
Maybe I'll try to speak a little slowly so that it matches up. But yeah, we're starting with how you should study smart for the next 40 days, which is basically we're going to talk about how you're going to be the most efficient that you can be. So, one of the major things, and this is coming from me talking to a few students in the past few days, somebody told me that they were solving like calculus questions or they're solving like similar questions for VA, like as in uh, questions that usually appear in GIPMAT and Rohtak, which is not correct because if you don't solve questions that will appear only in IPMAT Indore, that really puts you a step backwards, because right now, given that there is a very little time left, your time should only go towards activities that will increase your chances of getting in. So it's very important that you solve questions of correct level. This means difficulty and the type of concept asked. This doesn't mean that IPMAT Indore won't ask you a question out of nowhere. In the past few years, we'll always see like one or two questions that we generally don't see appear in IPMAT, right? So those are edge cases and you can't prepare for those edge cases. So I can say, okay, calculus has not come for the past few years, but what if it comes this year? True, it can, because there's no document by Indore saying ki nahi aa sakta hai, nahi aayega ye. But by preparing for that, you're taking your time away from topics such as progression and series, uh, functions, modulus. All of these questions have continuously appeared in the last few years, and you should first be solving them. Now, how do you ensure that you're solving questions that are most likely to come for IPMAT Indore? Three things. uh, First, question everything, like whatever coaching that you're in, especially if it's a coaching that is not like IPMAT is not their major focus, like they're primarily for CAT or they're primarily for CUET. If you're enrolled in such a coaching, just it's not that their material is not good, but you might want to really constantly ask yourself ki, okay, am I sure that this comes in IPMAT? Because that time, that 5 to 15 minutes that you spend in understanding that question will be wasted uh, in the shorter run if it's something that doesn't come in IPMAT. So first, just question everything. Try to make sure that you're analyzing whether it's something that's even in IPMAT or not, Of course, when you made the purchase of whichever coaching or whichever test series that you're in, you thought it through, but a lot of the times these coachings can get it wrong because they themselves have not given IPMAT. They're using experience from other exams and creating these tests. So you can be more responsible on your end and try to ensure that the resources that you're using is right. Now, one more thing that will give you more clarity is that attempting last year's paper. So this is a huge mistake that I made. I constantly thought similar to how we think for mocks, ki, oh, let me prepare a bit and then let me give the mock because that will give me more clarity of where I stand, right? Because I can compare it from last year's cutoff. No, don't do that. Just go give the mock, because that paper is not for you to understand your standing. That paper is for you to get a clarity on what kind of questions are asked in IPMAT. So that mistake that you might make of attempting the wrong questions won't happen. And we just uploaded this today. Uh, so you have last year's paper available for free. Giving a heads up, solutions are still to be put, but this paper you can attempt it in a mock setting, and this will also give you confidence, because right now a lot of the questions that you might be preparing might be hard, right? So you're probably already done with the easier questions, or even if you're just starting out, you won't start off with the easiest questions, right? So especially for VA, you'll be able to see that it's not as hard as you might be thinking. Give the paper. You'll It'll also act as a diagnostic test for you, and second, it'll give you much better clarity about the topics that you should be focusing on and the topics that you shouldn't be. So coming back, the last thing is, you can definitely reach out to us on WhatsApp. I think we're active every day, almost, like there are very few days that we leave out. You can, if you're really facing a doubt in terms of if what you're doing actually comes in IPMAT or not, you can text it to us and we'll definitely reply to you, right? Okay, so that's about uh, strategy. So this is basically to make sure that your IPMAT prep is more efficient, right? Another, uh, so the key concept over here is that you can study for 8 hours, 12 hours every day and still fail. And the reason why that might happen is because you were not focused enough on planning your preparation, right? So even if I think of an exam that I'm giving at IIM Indore, right, I have 20 sessions of lectures. Of those 20, I didn't really attempt it. I don't really know much about that subject, and I go sit in an exam. I don't consult my friends of what might come, what might not, and I end up preparing for the wrong thing, or I give weightage to something that wasn't as important. I will obviously do bad even if I spent 40 hours studying for that test, right? So this is why, to make sure that your prep is efficient, to increase your chances, you will have to go through this once on your own. uh, and this is something that nobody else can do for you, right? This is something that you need to sit down and think of by yourself. So this is literally the gist of, and this is actually all you need in terms of studying smart. If you do this, and then you spend, say, 6 to 8 hours every day, definitely there's nothing stopping you. So there's that. Now let's move on to how you should.
Also, can you zoom into your screen a little bit so that people can read what are the three
Yes,
boxes?
yes, yes, yes. Okay, so now let's move on to the mock analysis. We're going to go over how you should analyze your mock. We'll show some things on our platform because it's easier to show it, but then I'll also show how you can do it without the platform, because the forms that we circulated in the last few days, a lot of you are not able to get it, and we get that. You have a lot of other test series, so we still want to make sure that you can use the same formats regardless. Now, the major question is, why do you give mocks, and why you should give mocks instead of opening your textbook and studying, right? So you give mocks because, one, you want to know where you stand, all of that stuff, but that is not as important as you giving a mock to build your strategy, and second, to learn more questions that are of exam level. So right now, if you sit down and you think, okay, let me complete my syllabus, let me spend 10 more days, complete my syllabus, i'll just go I'll just spend 8 hours every day, I'll watch lectures. Not a good strategy. You're going to waste your 10 days. Like, write it down. I did that for my first attempt. I just watched lectures. I was afraid of mocks. I thought I'll give mocks once I'm done with the syllabus, once I'm more confident. I never ended up giving enough mocks. I never got comfortable giving mocks because it was too late by then. So it's time now to start giving mocks and start using mocks to prepare as well, even if you're not done with the syllabus. And the second thing is obviously that you will never be done with the syllabus. The syllabus is so vast and also to an extent undefined that you will never get that feeling that sab kuch ho chuka hai. This is not a board exam where uh, the NCRT बस रटनी है, ऐसा नहीं है. There are n number of concepts, there are n number of types of questions that can come. So the reason why you're giving a mock right now is to build your strategy and to understand new concepts by solving exam level questions. Now, if you don't, like, if you decide कि okay, still कि नहीं मेरे को सिर्फ टेस्ट देना या कुछ करना है, the major thing that you'll be missing out on will be the strategy that you form, the comfort that you get through a mock over time. You'll minimize that. You will still, to an extent, get anxious in your actual exam. So I really recommend you guys to just start off your prep, even if you're starting out, even if you've not done your syllabus, to start it off with mocks. The frequency can be as high as one a day, it can be as low as one every 4 days, right? But don't shy away from mocks, because if you need 40 days to get comfortable. uh, and this is, I'm considering someone who doesn't have prior experience with entrance exams. Like, some people are very comfortable. So if I compare me and Bhavish was very comfortable giving uh giving these tests because he had done Olympiads in his school. Me, on the other hand, I hadn't really taken such tests which were MCQ during my school, so I used to be very scared of giving mocks. So the first thing is, start off. Though it's okay, your mock scores are not your final scores. Through these mocks, we'll also understand how you can learn new concepts and how you can get closer to finishing your syllabus, right? But the first step that I'm going to talk about is the strategy. So you not getting marks can be due to two things. One is obvious that you've not done your syllabus. The second is that you've done the syllabus to an extent and you're still not getting marks. So right now, we're going to do that, or we're going to understand why your syllabus is complete but your marks are still stagnant, right? So uh, there can basically, like, there are two major uh, areas. The first one is you're giving the mock wrong, as in the way that you're attempting it is not the right way, which is minimizing your score. The second is you're using the wrong resources, or you have used the wrong resources, which is again the kind of questions I was talking about before. If you've not prepared with material that was IPMAT level, you'll have a difficult time scoring marks in your mocks. So let's go through, there are 5 things that I've listed down. Let's go through each one of them, right? So the very first is you gave a mock and afterwards you went through the questions and you found like 4-5 questions in maths that you feel that, oh no, I could have done this. I was just not able to do this in the paper, right? So this is like a very clear example of like bad time management, one, and bad question picking. So here you need to understand that if after, while you're going through all of the 45 questions, you feel that you could have done it, that means during the paper the format that you're using to pick the questions is wrong. So how you should be going is you should be picking easy questions and you should be picking questions of topics that you know. So this is like the 3-box strategy that we talk about, if you've watched our videos before, that we talk about a lot. So the very first few questions that you pick should be the easiest ones, because if you just go head straight, right? If I just start a mock right now and I'm like, no, I'll go in order, I'll go from 1 to 15, you'll be at a major loss. Because guess what, professors know that, and professors are going to be like, theek hai, trap dal dete hain. Third question, itna, we'll make it look easy, but it's going to be very hard and very confusing, which is going to take like 10 minutes away of your entire section, right? So this is what happens, and this is why it's important that you create a strategy where you classify, you first go through all of the 15, all of the 30 questions, and you figure out which are the questions that you're going to do first. And these questions will be questions that are short in length, so you can comprehend them the fastest. Questions that are easy, questions of topics that you know. So it can be, say, even if it's like a slightly medium question of profit and loss, but profit and loss is something that you've done, and you see a question that is very similar to the one that you've done before, pick it, get done with it. This also gives you a boost if you're done with say 3 questions in the first 5 or 10 minutes. It gives you a major boost to like take the remaining section and the remaining paper head on, right? So this is the first thing. The second is silly mistakes that you see कि okay 6 की बजाय 60 लिखा है, या वो कैलकुलेशन में कुछ गलती हो गई, और you like in general your paper पे question सही लिखा था, while entering it in the mock it's wrong. And I'm totally not talking about Bhavish right now.
So I want to say one more important thing, and it's a very big secret about IPMAT, which a few of you might know. So hit the like button and I'll tell you the secret. ठीक है, अभी 42 है, 50 कर दो. The secret is all of us are very attuned with CBSE exam pattern. In CBSE we have this fear कि हमको सब question attempt करना ही है. That is the most minimum thing that you can do in your board exam. If you do not attempt all, well, forget getting more than 95 marks. That's practically how the mindset is. But when you have to immediately shift in a couple of months to an exam which is not based on evaluation, IPMAT is not an evaluation. IPMAT is elimination. IPMAT में निकालना है. IPMAT is not going to judge your score. So, for this reason, you should also not look at it from a perspective that I'm going to get 100%. Even if you get 50% of the marks, cut off clear हो जाता है. And 50% in board exam won't even allow you to be eligible for many of the IIMs. So understand this distinction. You should be so confident that you can skip question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but have the balls and guts in you that you're going to solve question 7, 8, and 9. And you should also have the mental capacity and self-confidence that I'm not going to spend more than 2 minutes in a particular question. Right? And even if you feel हो जाएगा, बाद में हो जाएगा, होना है तो, अभी just go forward and look at all the easy questions. Because this is a mistake which I made. Also nice 69 likes, thank you. This is a mistake which I made in the DILR section in 2021. I spent 10 minutes of my time. Because in all my mocks, I was dependent on that easy bar graph, pie chart, kuch na kuch ho jata tha. And every coaching center in 2021 got it wrong. They had the easiest DILR sets for IPMAT and no one ever thought कि DILR मुश्किल होगा. They said कि सिर्फ वो कर दो, एक दो question बाहर से and your cutoff will be clear. I thought I'll do that and English में ना maximize कर देंगे. DILR was hard, guys. नहीं हुआ. I took 5 papers. ठीक है, it was a tournament set. I took 5 papers. I'm like, this 30 minutes I'm going to do only this. क्योंकि मुश्किल है, cut off नीचे आएगा. I took 5 papers. I made every possibility. Like hell with permutation combination मुझे आता नहीं है. I'm going to make every 30 possibilities in paper and I had 5 papers in front of me and you know what happened? कुछ नहीं बना. And then I realized कि okay, I have 15 to 20 minutes left. I've already wasted 33% of my time and I have solved 0. Then I went, I saw a time and speed question. I'm like, ठीक है, directional ratios से निकल गया half a minute में. I'm like, damn, that was easy. And then I went through a couple more questions and somehow I got 19 out of 21. I missed it by 2 marks. Don't do this mistake. Okay, Vani, continue.
Yeah, also somebody said that their marks haven't increased and they're stuck at around 100. So that's what, right now, what you need to do is you need to figure out ki in Pancho mein se, like we're still discussing, we're on silly mistakes right now. In Pancho mein se, what is the thing that you're doing wrong, right? So the first one was question picking and picking easy questions. Second was silly mistakes, that you're entering the answer, it's close to the one that you should have gotten, or you calculated the right answer in your MCQ, but you were unsure, so you never like attempted it. So now to solve silly mistakes, basically you need to tag these questions, right, that you're making a silly mistake in. Silly mistakes, like I cannot stress this enough, it's more by habit or nature than it is by your consciousness. So even if you're completely like your cognition is at 100%, you can still end up making silly mistakes because oftentimes it's just habits, right? So for these questions, tag them, write ki kaun sa question kya tha. If you have the platform, when you go analyze your mock, mark it कि ये silly mistake है, ठीक है? Because later on what you're going to do is you're going to filter out all of your silly mistakes, right? And you're going to keep going through them. So say every 5 days you're going to sit down and you're going to go through your silly mistakes, and the same is for your conceptual mistakes. Ki you had like 90% conceptual clarity, 10% की वजह से question गलत हो गया, right? So write these down, make a note of what this is, and constantly remind yourself that this was a mistake that you made, and this will ensure that you don't do it again. Like, remember that your mock scores are not your final scores. You're making a mistake in your mock, which is perfect, right? But you then also need to ensure that you don't make the same mistake again, because that is what will increase your scores in the subsequent mocks and also in the actual exam. Okay, now next is time management. So basically, this is something I'll draw from very personal experience. I would get started and there would be that one question, right? And this is something I've also said in previous videos. वो एक question होता था, I would start, I used to think कि नहीं, I can do this, crack हो जाएगा. Like, I'll spend 4 to 5 minutes. And now that I've spent 4 to 5 minutes on it, I'm just like, okay, I've spent 4 to 5 minutes, I need to get it right. So time management is basically that you're spending too much time on questions that you are not able to do. Learn to leave them. छोड़ दो, keep your mark as 3 minutes, that at max you're going to spend 3 minutes on a question in your first round. Nahi hua, koi baat nahi. And another thing is make a division. I think I need to show this on paper. In your sheet, I have a book,
So
but
basically, the
wait, go on.
when you do mark for review ना, कभी कभी 6-7 mark for review हो जाता है, and then it becomes
Hmm.
hard to find out ये 6-7 में कौन सा करना है. So let me take a pencil.
Wait,
Oh, you're doing it perfect. Perfect.
I'll show exactly what I used to do.
It's
So I would have 3 boxes for easy, medium, and hard, right? And then I used to, I hope it's visible. Uh, oh no, we're very small.
wait. I'll
on
make it
screen.
bigger. A second.
Yeah,
Okay, sure.
yeah. So I would divide the page into like sections, and upar mein I would have 3 boxes, and I would just write the question number, right? So if I'm done with the question, I'll cross it off if I've left the question or if I want to move it up. So a question that I'm not able to do, which I marked as medium. Question 5, I marked as medium. I'm not able to do it. I've spent 2 minutes on it. It's not happening. I move it up to hard and I leave it for then. Now, create sections in your paper for each question. And if you miss out, right, on a question, leave that space blank and go ahead, because वो 2-3 minute में you would have still done some rough work for it, like you would have made some progress in that question, right? So it'll be good that when you're coming back to that question you have that rough work saved. Now, for this reason as well, starting में if your center is nice, right, just ask them for extra sheets right then and there. The beach में you won't get
Starting में ही
distracted.
पूछ लो.
पूछ के take extra sheets, make these divisions. So now that you've left it after 2-3 minutes, you can come back and you'll still have some rough work saved. And now when you're coming back to it at the end, you've also solved more questions, so you're more peaceful in your mind, right? And even now, practice with these sheets. When you're giving a mock, take individual sheets, practice with them. So again, when you're coming back, you have a fresher mindset, you're more confident. There's a better likelihood that you'll be able to do it in the next 2 minutes. If you've already spent 2 to 3 minutes and you haven't gotten it, you're going to be frustrated, you're going to get anxious, right? Not the right mindset to finish a question. Come back to it later. So this is about time management. So again, if your time management is bad, after a mock you'll see ki, okay, these are questions that I could have done, but maine kiya nahi kyunki I wasted my time. Now, the remaining two reasons why you might be doing not so well: one, revision. So you finish it, you finished the syllabus, but you did it before your board exams. Now you don't really you don't really remember. But again, don't get panicked, because if you've done it once, if you've studied everything once, studying for the second time will take much less time than you can imagine. Like, if it took you 3 hours in the first go, it'll not take you more than 15 to 30 minutes in the second round, right? And again, for revision, you won't have to watch any lectures or anything of that sort. If you solve questions again, that will bring you back to a similar level. For this, just set, solve questions. Again, lectures are not recommended at this moment unless you're really struggling in a concept, because lectures, say, one, you're watching someone else do it, right? You're not doing it yourself. The moment that you do a question yourself is when you'll realize the things that you know and the things that you don't know. So for revision, solve questions. uh, Again, this doesn't mean that you stop giving mocks. Maybe if you were giving mocks every 2 days, make it 3 days, right? And that way you can spend a bit more time on your revision. So you can pick a topic every day, and I'm going to talk about this more later, but pick a topic every day that you're going to revise, and pick a topic that you haven't really started. Revision, give it like 30 minutes to 1 hour. New topic, you give 1 to 2 hours. This again completely depends on you. So this way you'll keep getting done with new topics. And again, I'm going to speak about revision a bit more when we talk about learning concepts. And the second thing is questions that you did in the first go are not up to the level. So probably the books that you used in the first time are not right. And for this, again, we're going to talk about how you can cover your concepts starting now. But if this is the case, you need to become aware of the fact first. You need to first go and really become a detective for your own coaching and try to realize whatever resources that you're using, are they right or not. It's easy to get this a dopamine boost key. Oh wow, this I solved like 500 questions, but those 500 questions might be Rohtak level or IPMAT level. They might not be IPMAT Indore level.
And one
So
more thing I wanted to add is when
hmm,
people try to look at video lectures, they watch Max like it's a movie.
hmm.
कुछ नहीं होगा वैसे.
मैंने यही गलती की थी. Like the first time around, I'm not kidding, for 1 month I just sat and I saw lectures. Like that's all I would do. I was like, okay, once I clear the lectures, I can go to mock. My dad told me, no, don't do that. Start giving mocks.
Hmm.
Didn't listen to him. Bhavish told me, give mocks. Didn't listen to him. And Bhavish used to give mocks, and I guess that's why he was able to
And
convert Rashi in the first
I
go,
did
and I
not
was not.
study also. I just wrote exams.
Yeah, he
I
didn't.
just wrote exams,
So true.
and whatever I got wrong, I just used to see the solution because like, oh, I didn't have any big problem. Ki I need to know how to solve it. Max, there's this very famous video in which you have the Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, and he says why he dropped out of astrophysics in his college. So he was in his first year, studying really well, and then they had come across a very, very difficult maths question. And he could not solve it. He spent a couple of days in it. But he had a friend from Sri Lanka. He showed a question to him. The question was so big that it was almost 1.5 pages. And the answer is going to be much bigger. But this Sri Lankan dude solved it in less than 5 minutes. He looked at it and he solved it and told the answer, and it was correct. And Jeff Bezos' mind was blown away. He's like, ऐसे कैसे
And
हो
that's
सकता
how he
है?
dropped out. That's
And
how
that,
he realized that he can't do this. This is not his field.
but what made a Sri Lankan guy solve it? In mathematics, familiarity of questions is most of the hard work.
Yeah.
Do you remember in 2021 there was a question with the grid? Well, I was like, ये question एक बार देख लो थोड़ा interesting लग रहा है. And the same question came in our short
Yeah,
answer.
this is Bhavesh literally less than 16 hours before the exam telling me that do it. And I was like, no, no, it seems too complicated. I don't want to do it. The same question came the next day.
And the thing is, both of us would not have been able to solve it because our logic is not the best. But we had familiarity with the
Same
question. And how did
Yeah.
that familiarity come? Because I chose to attempt mock number 25 and skip mock number 10 to 24. I was like, hell with that. मुझे सबसे latest वाला देख ही लेते हैं. So
Yeah,
when you
so
come
just
across, हाँ,
solve questions. It's okay if you don't get it right, but every question has something that you can learn from it. And again, more on that later. Let me just finish the strategy aspect of it, right? And I think we will take like I think 15-20 minutes more. I said 30. But yeah, so for the first three, ideally what you need to do is you need to build your strategy. Now, the three things that are common to all strategies are: one, identifying the right question; two, figuring out that the time take that you're taking for every question is not too high. Uh, Ideally, for your right questions, it should be 3 to 4 minutes, right? uh for your harder, like as in questions that you get wrong, will obviously be more, but then it shouldn't be like you took like 15 minutes on one wrong question and remaining cliff will be 3 to 4. It should not take you more than like 7-8 minutes in a particular question. Like that is the maximum you should go. If you're spending more than that, you need to realize that there are other questions that you can go, and the likelihood of you solving them will probably be higher. Now, the last thing is guesswork. You should be very careful while guessing questions, and I'll just show you, like, these are the three parameters that uh, we have used. And again, uh, all of these things you can replicate for whatever mock that you're giving, like whichever coaching that you have. but it's just like it'll take you more time because it's not something that's been calculated for you. So again, this is the study smart aspect. uh, you can sit and do it on your own, but ideally you should not be spending that much time calculating these things. So here you can see rank is 15, but if I wouldn't have gotten 28 marks less, my rank would have been 9, right? Which is a huge difference in itself. Of course, there are very few people who have given this mark, but still, you need to understand that the way that IPMAT is calculated, it's not ranking you based on your scores, right? It's calculating an ATS rank. And even the slightest, because it's like a bell curve, maximum of the people will be set, like, surrounded around the cutoff. And then there'll be very few people who are at 240, 260, 280 marks, depending on the difficulty of the actual exam. So even 4 to 5 marks matter, and you should be trying to get those in your bags by not doing guesswork. The only place where guesswork is legal is your essay section, because इसमें कोई negative marking नहीं है. Make educated guesses. If you solved a question halfway, you might be able to figure out कि ठीक है, it's a multiple of 2, it's a multiple of 5. Make a guess there. For remaining, put 0, ones, favorite number, whatever you want, right?
And one more thing is, uh, when it comes to short answer, please read the instructions once. कभी कभी इंस्ट्रक्शन में
Yes.
बोला होता है कि only natural numbers or whole numbers are accepted as answers
And this might change.
and decimals are not allowed. So I was getting an answer as 0.6, but then I remember the instructions saying कि you can only get whole numbers as the answer. I'm like, हाँ ठीक है 6 डाल देते हैं, हो गया answer.
Also, how do you decrease your negative? Like, you can, I think most people get it in BA.
हाँ.
If you've not eliminated at least 2 options in your VA, like the way that you select a VA question answer is not by reading the first one and being like, huh, this is right or wrong. You figure out why it's wrong, right? So a lot of the times when you're selecting, you might just jump to an answer instead of thinking through all of the 4 options. You need to eliminate at least 2 options, and if you're getting like 20 negative in VA, that's not nice. This is a mock that I took from one of the students. So yeah, just don't guess, be sure of the answer. And the way to increase your marks in VA is not by attempting more questions, it's by attempting the ones that you're sure of and then going from there to understand what are other places that you can clear. Now back to our Figma.
Meanwhile,
So
I
this
just wanted to say one thing about verbal ability. A lot of coaching centers try and they have this thing called inertia. Inertia कैसे होता है? They only look at 2023 IPMAT. हाँ, IPMAT 2023 का VA आसान था, इसलिए VA का cutoff was also hard. But when this happens, you cannot put IPMAT Indore cutoff in a trend chart like a stock, thinking कि हाँ, it has been increasing, so next time also it will increase. No, this will not have any pattern. This will happen on the basis of what the examiner wants. So just because the cutoff was hard last time and you're getting 90 in a mock, don't be alarmed. It could be a harder mock.
Yes, I'll tell you one more thing. When you're seeing your mock scores, right? Don't make a graph seeing over time mocks have increased or not. No, I was actually going through my old mock scores. I won't tell you my mock scores, but it was not an increasing graph for the reason that, one, I gave mocks of on different platforms. Two, the difficulty within these platforms of each mock difference, like, were different. I remember feeling sad, like essay, even I had, oh, I'm gonna see like every mock I want to get like 2 or 4 marks more, and if that happens, finally my score before the exam will be much higher than anything, right? But that's not how it works, sadly. So don't create a graph. Like, analyze each mock, and each mock will have mistakes that you've made that you can learn from. So these are 3 things that should be common to every strategy. What changes is things like, okay, if you want to use mark for review, you might be able to use it. I personally was not able to use it. My brain used to go haywire. So you're gonna sit down and you're gonna try multiple things, right? So if you're getting any of the first three diagnoses that I told you, then you need to sit down and solve mocks. So every mock you're gonna try out ki what works out best, what ensures that every question that you know but weren't able to do gets done in the subsequent mock. This will really help you. Suppose for VA, somebody might prefer getting done with the RCs first. I personally preferred getting done with the RCs at the end. These strategies you'll build by making mistakes while giving the mock, analyzing them, going through the problem, thinking how you can solve that problem, and figuring out what works out for you best. So, this marks the end of the strategy chapter. Now, we're going to go uh, to analyzing what you should do if you've not done the concepts. So, major reason why you're not getting marks might be कि चैप्टर किया ही नहीं है, like टॉपिक आता ही नहीं है, टाइम स्पीड डिस्टेंस नहीं आता है, सर्कुलर ट्रैक्स हैव नेवर सीन इन माय लाइफ, makes sense, not an issue. For this you need to use bookmarks. So I'm going to show you on again AfterBoards ka platform, then I'll show you how I used to do when, because I didn't have AfterBoards ka platform. But yeah, so what you have to do is every question, this is how you analyze a mock. Like analyzing a mock is not a work of like 1 or 2 hours. It takes time because you need to go through every question, and there are 5 main things. You're gonna mark what the problem was with this question, right? So it can be chapter pending, it can be revision pending, or time pressure. Time pressure is that this is something that you knew, but because you were getting afraid of the time, you were not able to do it. Happens a lot of the times. So once you've bookmarked this, right? So you're done with like say 5 mocks. You've bookmarked this. Now questions that you weren't able to do because of not getting the chapter right. Now this won't stop you from not giving not giving another mock, because you know कि, okay, even if I'm giving a mock, I'm gonna mark this chapter that I haven't done and I'm gonna come back to it later. So now uh, I have HCF and LCM or whatever uh, topic marked for me. When I'm done with that topic, and this goes for revision as well, you'll pick, when you're done with the revision of one particular topic, you come back, you pick all of the mocks that you've done, you go to bookmarks, you select a chapter, and you select which topic it was. I'm not doing that right now because I haven't personally gone through that. But linear equations you haven't done, you'll select in topic, okay, linear equation, I'm done with it now. I'll go through every mock question that had appeared before. This gives me the exposure of IPMAT level questions, right? This ensures that I have more experience with that topic. Same goes for revision pending. You get done revising a topic, you will come back and attempt all of these questions again. For other things like silly mistakes or conceptual mistakes, what you need to do is decide a frequency. Say ki every 5 days you're gonna come back, right? And you're gonna go through these questions once. So because it's like you've done that question say twice before, you did it once in the mock, you did it once after giving the mock, right? So you'll already, like by just looking at it, you'll realize ki हाँ ये question था जो मैंने किया था. Then you just think, okay, what was the mistake that I had made? You remind yourself of the mistake that you had made, and this reminding work will ensure that it doesn't happen again. This activity might take you like 30 minutes. It's a good way to have a break, I would say, if you've done some very intensive QA practice and you need something that is that helps you prepare but is of a lower intensity, you can come back and do this, right? So so this is step 1, bookmarking. How do you do it if you don't have the platform? Just list it down in a Excel. Just list down the mock number, question number. So this is like 4th mock, 40th question, which section it was, what was the mistake. It can be the same 5 things I just showed you. A topic you can again make on Excel itself, you can make a drop down. And because it's Excel, you can start filtering it again. The only thing is, this takes away like a good chunk of your time because you'll have to sit down and enter everything on your own. But worth it. Very honestly, worth it. Do this, it'll help you a lot. uh, it'll basically organize your prep. It'll make sure that in that 2 hours that you spend giving a mock, you you learned the maximum you could from it. The second thing is now, uh, to make sure that okay, lectures, or you're not depending on lectures that are like 6 to 10 hours long. uh, you sit down and you learn from solutions. So pick again the same mock. Before you mark it as anything, you will try to go through it and solve it with the assistance of the solution. So trigonometry is something that you don't know, okay, cool. But can you try to go through it once and see what it's trying to say, right? Now, a lot of the times this might not happen, but if it's an easy question, you can definitely try. It gives you exposure to a new concept. That same concept, if you have a minute, you can also go to YouTube or whatever other resources that you have and try to understand it on your own once. Again, I'm not saying this for very hard questions because it doesn't make sense spending that much time learning through the solution, because uh, you might, if you have not done even the basics of that chapter, it won't make sense. But do push yourself to understand from the solution. Many a times, trust me, many a times you will actually be able to get it. And another thing is, if you have someone who you can reach out to who can explain it to you, you can do that as well. And this goes even for topics that you haven't revised. Try to do it from the solution. Go back to mistakes frequently. I talked about this. uh, Go back to the particular chapter once revised again. So there are two things. When you're not giving a mock or when you're not analyzing a mock, you're going to be studying new concepts, new chapters that you've never touched before, and you're going to be revising topics that you've already done. So even if you're just starting out or you started 20 days back, right, you're going to sit down and what you did 15 days ago, you're going to revise that. So every day you're going to pick a topic to revise, and every day you're going to pick a topic that you're going to solve, them like a new topic, a revised topic. Do this, go back to the mocks that you've given, do those questions again, right? Now, what about VA? Because we get it. VA is like just gray area. कुछ समझ नहीं आता है कि कैसे बढ़ाएं, कैसे क्या करें, right? So considering कि okay, VA is something that takes time. Right now, instead of putting yourself in too much pressure, what you need to do is build technique, not just English, right? So what is that? So a lot of the times it's like you will have these, and especially like SAT videos and all of these other videos. If you go watch them once, you'll understand that okay, VA mein the trick is ki okay, only one option can be correct, right? It is not possible for two options to be correct. So especially in questions that require comprehension, out of the four options, you need to figure out ki what is wrong in the three options that are wrong. Okay, exam mein, while you were giving the mock, you weren't able to do it, fine. You're anxious, you're tired, you've done maths for uh, 80 minutes. After you're done with the mock, before you see the question, try to figure out, try to train yourself to identify what are the three wrong things in the other three options, right? This will help you. This is the technique that you need to build. Elimination, this is what it's called. Over time, it'll become inherent to you. Right now, essay, if you try to think ki, if you read a lot, you'll be able to do it. If you do XYZ, you'll be able to do it. Might not work. Work smart, try to build technique. Second, don't learn vocabulary. Like we saw questions ki vocab mein bahut sare words hai, you're not able to memorize that. Sorry. Don't learn vocab, learn roots. So this is what WPME is for. If you don't have WPME, I actually just had searched root words on YouTube. You have like long videos explaining the same, right? So if I were in your place, because I personally had done WPME, but if you haven't, no issues. Now it might be enticing to take this 11 or 12 hour ka video first, but I would say go with the shorter videos,
Keep
get
on
done with
continue.
those first, because
Save
shorter
बंद कर दो.
videos would mean uh, they're more well explained, as in they're taking words that come, uh, words that are more commonly used in general, right? So they might also be commonly tested. Second, take like the 2 hour video and go from there. Learn root words, don't try to learn vocabulary. And second thing is, this gets me back to technique. Uh, try to understand words in context. So when you're reading a reading comprehension, it is impossible that you'll know every word from it, right? But what you can train yourself for is understanding the word in that sentence. Most of the times you'll be able to guess it. You'll be able to pinpoint ki, okay, based on what they were talking about before and what they talk about next, this is what the word probably means. So yes, this is more for questions that have comprehension, not your straightforward idioms or phrasal verbs, but still helps for the other things. Now, last sub YouTube pe hai, like just search it once. If there's something that is not available in the context, also, yeah, like it's not available in the context of cat, do it for SAT, because yes, it's a little different, but then they do have good strategies that they talk about. Now, uh, final words is ki a lot of the times you're not going to feel confident, you're not going to feel happy with where you are. You are going to see other people who are showing that they're doing more or they're actually doing more, but that's not going to help you. Exposing yourself to that feeling is not going to help you. IPMAT is not just about how much you're going to study, but it's also about how well you're doing mentally, right? So avoid yourself from putting yourself like into situations that charge you negatively. That might include going to Telegram and watching other people talk about IPMAT in their
One
preparation.
thing which I need to tell you, Telegram में the amount of people who are there, I'll लिख के दे दूँगा 50% of them are lying to your faces.
Yes,
Do not give a damn about them.
I agree. So don't compare yourself okay, that person is doing better than me. No, getting exposed to the fact that that person is doing better won't make you do better. What it's going to do is it's going to make you more anxious, it's going to make you depressed, and that is not going to make you study more. And trust me, when some kids do this, where they try to show that they're doing a lot, their entire aim is to demotivate you, and you don't understand that, okay, you're getting demotivated, but you are. So you need to cut these activities off that make you demotivated. Be positive about your prep. One way to get super positive about your prep is, don't think of IIM, like don't hold it in such a high regard that it is what will make or break your career. That's not how it works. Of course, the opportunities that you get here might be higher, but that does not mean that opportunities don't exist elsewhere. I'm pretty sure there are like hundreds of students in India who are doing better than me and Bhavesh by being in other colleges, right? So don't focus on IIM as a way to build your career. Think of your career as something that is independent to you and not dependent on the college that you're in. Be dependent on a college for learning. And trust me, there are multiple colleges that can do that for you. We'll also have sessions on these colleges in the coming month so that you can learn more about these. You can get less anxious about your preparation. And the last one is, again, don't fit an upward trend with your mock scores, which is something we mentioned above. It's not going to be like that. You're going to be giving mocks maybe from different platforms. Within the platform, the difficulty will be different. So yeah, this is everything about how you should be analyzing your mock. It took an hour, but I think very comprehensive, uh, very dependent on how self-aware you become of all of these things. And yeah, That's it.
So, up, let's do the Q&A. We'll put it on WhatsApp also. Okay, starting the Q&A now. Starting.
Yeah, but if you don't have any questions, feel free
जाओ
to
पढ़ाई करो.
पढ़ाई
After
करो,
hitting the
because
like button, just go.
yeah, yes, because it's more, if you don't have any questions, if you have clarity, go study. It won't, listening to what other people have to ask won't help you, and it's going to take 1 hour away from your prep.
The biggest motivation that you want, most of the people in my batch, they're like, अरे अब कभी सोचा नहीं कि आई एम लॉन्च होगा, ऐसे हो गया एग्जाम, ऐसे ही दे दिए हम और एग्जाम क्लियर भी हो गया ऐसे ही लास्ट. उतना भावेश, I did not study that much. I just wrote the exam, I was preparing
That
for
is so
JEE. I was
false,
preparing.
though.
See, now I do not know whether they're lying or they're telling the truth.
No, I'll tell you what happens. They probably didn't prepare for the exam, but they did prepare for JEE for 4 years, which obviously makes IPMAT a cakewalk for them, even if there are topics that don't appear in JEE. They've just practiced it so much that
Yes.
they do well. But that doesn't mean that that opportunity is denied to you. Even if you, I mean, yeah, let's not get there again. Don't compare yourself to JEE. Don't think कि बहुत competition है. When you start working hard, you'll realize that hard work can literally be the only reason why you crack the exam.
Okay.
You can't focus on variables that you can't
Oh
control.
shit, I forgot to message starting the Q&A now.
Yes, let me open that. There are a lot of questions. I don't think we'll be able
We'll
to
do super fast.
Okay.
अरे हटाओ JEE Google from उठाओ. Okay, share the tab alone.
Yeah, I did.
Wait, हाँ perfect, दिख रहा है. Okay, make this font a little bigger, no? It'll help out.
Yes. Done.
अरे review भी दिखा दो.
No.
नहीं, now you said no, people think कोई problem होगा. Review दिखा दो. It's good
अरे.
reviews only. See, best, excellent, great, amazing, all good, loved it. Red heart emoji. We have 2 heart emoji. You have 0 from your crush. सोचो. But हाँ.
मैंने अभी तक पढ़ा ही नहीं है.
I simply love the platform. The amount of consistency AB has
Oh
given.
yeah, also
I don't think
we have
anyone.
mobile view.
Oh.
Like, again, if you're an AV student and you might not know, but you can
अरे
give
who wrote such a good
good
review? I'm reading it for the first time. अरे मजा आ गया.
But yes, let's not get distracted.
Okay, sorry.
I will.
Yes, questions one by one.
Perfect score.
Let's start from नीचे to ऊपर, ठीक है?
हाँ. I think we can also maybe, okay, let's say. I think a lot of the things we might have addressed already.
हाँ.
If we say that we've already addressed, please watch the first 50 minutes of this video. It's actually like, you can watch it on 2x, but I think there's nothing that we say that won't help you.
ठीक है, let us.
Okay.
हाँ, start.
Let's start. Perfect score for EWS, Bhavesh, I think.
हाँ, देखो, cut off, ideal score, ये वो दुनिया भर का YouTube channels will come and say, if you really want to believe them, just go back 1 year ago and see what was their cut-off prediction for IPMAT Rohtak. They predicted 350, आया 409. No one knows. Alright? So
No
move
one
on.
knows. The way that you'll know is by solving mock exams. When you solve mock exams, you'll get used to the differentiating difficulty of each exam, and that will help you clear the cutoff. Uncertainty है, कुछ नहीं कर सकते. It is scary. It is better to think कि oh, I just need to get 50% marks, but that's what makes this exam hard to crack. But yeah, get used to it.
Once again, let me also open the Excel.
Don't
so I
geometry. 1 second, go through the past paper. It's there on the website for free. Give it. That'll give you an idea about the geometry, the kind of questions asked. Based on that, you can do the very basics. अब नहीं हो रहा है तो of course leave it, but try to do the very basics. I think we should start from the top and नीचे आते रहेंगे.
ठीक है, let's start from the top. Okay, I feel depressed during preparation of IPMAT, how to avoid it and stop overthinking. College, life, loan, package, dream, selection, expectations, how to handle all of it. Break it down into small,
This is
small
the
chunks. Right, and Vani
Mhm.
explained from how mental stress, how you handle yourself mentally is the most important thing. You might be able to do better than someone who knows more math than you if you just manage your क्या बोलते हैं, temperament in a better manner. If you're calm, you might score better. So look at it as something that you need to do. It is a thing which is going to, talk about your next 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years. It's going to open a lot of doors. So be careful about the same. So how do you handle
So
it?
a lot of okay, no, you're
Huh.
still completing.
So don't let other people's expectation weigh down on you. Do not allow all these parasites to handle you. Just know even if this does not happen, your life is not going to end. A lot of really good opportunities are going to be there, and you are going to do well in life regardless.
Okay, next two questions we discussed कि go YouTube पे search root
Root
words,
words.
go through that. Don't try to sit and do like 1,000 vocab words. Won't help you because likelihood कि वो आएंगे ही नहीं. Okay, verbal section. A lot of I think नीचे भी बहुत questions होंगे.
देखो,
Talked about it literally like 5 minutes ago, I
we'll just
think.
say one thing for parajumble over
हाँ.
here. Parajumble mein, if you try to see the possibility, what is the probability of getting an answer correct if you have 4 sentences? It's 1 by 24. 5 sentences, 1 by 120. The probability is very low, and even if you make one sentence here and there, you lose, and you have negative marks. There are negative in Indore. So do not make the mistake of just trying to attempt all of it for the sake of it. Look at it, see 2, 3 which might be very straightforward, or even if you find one which is straightforward, put that 1 minute into that question, and instead of putting 4 minutes into the other 2, 3, 4 parajumbles, and if you still have RCs left, invest some time over there. So understand what is your strong suit and focus over there. I hope that helped. What to study for VA? Just attempt mocks. When you attempt mocks, you will understand what the paper setter is trying to do. If you attempt previous year paper, well and good, you will get an even better idea. Like people over here are now studying direct, indirect, sentences, active, passive. Yes, these are part of grammar, but if you look at Indore, they have grammar more in terms of subject-verb agreement, of parallelisms and whatnot. So knowing active, passive is important, but you should also try to understand what IPMAT Indore tends to test, so that you are always ready for that, and direct, indirect comes
See,
and
I'll
goes
tell
and
you,
whatnot.
active passive you'll do, but none of the questions are going to be as direct from active passive. But now you've spent 3 to 4 hours on it, right? The way that IPMAT Indore is testing you is not really testing your grammar directly most of the times. It's testing your comprehension because they're trying to, as professors give you like 400, 500 pages of reading in one course, right? And they expect you to go through that before you come to class the next day. So before every class, you'll have like 40 pages to read. It's a different thing that some students don't follow up on that, but that is what they're expecting you to do. So they want you to make sure that you have good comprehension skills. That is what they're testing in most of the paper. So of course, active passive helps. Any English, any concept, any grammar in English will help. Is it right to practice that separately right now? No. Practice direct questions that get asked, that will prepare you better, that will help you build technique.
And at the same time, if you see a question in which it was like singular or plural, then you just need to understand some of the charts. And I know the question said, do not refer to the VA video of Bhavesh, but if someone has not watched it, give that a shot, because in the first 30 seconds of the video, we take a question of grammar from the previous year and we tell them, and we show how we break it down, right? So that is very, very important.
Yes. Okay. Next thing. I think this is VA.
Do this question 8 away. I have, if you talk
Oh, this is also VA.
look at this now, question 8.
Question 8 is VA, right?
Sorry, row number 8, which is I have the one with the bigger font. So, Vani, that?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
there. I'm reading. Like, this is also about me only, right? Like, I'm getting. What do you want me to address here?
Oh,
Is it the
okay.
guessing factor? Because that now again it depends ki kaun sa marks you have given. Because if your first cutoffs is risky ground, we don't give cutoffs for our marks. But yeah, I think.
And I'll tell you
Uh,
one,
no, go on.
mocks cutoff is just a prediction of statistics. It is not the most accurate thing over there. You are also having a very small sample size, so do not try to be too much fixated on that. It's not going to really help you. I've been on the other side of the table. I have seen people whom you study from just be like, अरे ठीक है कुछ 70 डाल दो हो जाएगा ठीक है. So don't really put too much effort into that or take that into consideration. And in afterwards we will
But
be
yeah,
having a distribution of the scores so that you get an idea of where you stand, right? And how
yeah,
much percentage of
yeah.
people are getting what range of marks. And
So
understand.
wait,
And
just to summarize, if this is the stage that you're at, don't make an aim ki, oh, I need to get here. You can, I'm not saying no, but don't get fixated because it won't happen in one go, right? It's going to take iterations. But same thing that we talked about, give mocks, analyze them to build strategy and also to build your concepts. This advice goes regardless of what position you're at. Okay, so how do you get confident while solving mocks? If you're not able to do it alone, like if you're getting anxious, if you're getting to a point where you want to stop, have a friend or have your parents sit next to you and tell them to keep telling you to go forward if you're not able to solve a question. That's the only way. Don't think that you're giving a mock to get into IIM Indore. Think that you're giving a mock to improve, right? With this, you'll become more, this mindset will make you more comfortable. It's all about the mindset. And do take help of your friends and families who is around you. Uh, Ask anyone online, okay, can somebody uh, sit with me and do they want to give a mock with me? This assistance will help for sure. If you sit alone, you might get anxious. Maybe for the first 2 mocks, you can sit with someone and they can give you the push that you need.
I want to address this one. How should I make my study plan and what are the main topics I should focus on to maximize my score?
Yes, this also covers previous question का second part.
Don't put time blocks per se कि हम ऐसे ऐसे करेंगे. You're not a second grader. You know how to manage your time. You know how you need to maximize your time. If you can study for 14 hours, well and good. If you can study for 8, well and good. Keep the breaks appropriately. Your objective right now is to look at the mocks and the practice questions that you have and to gain familiarity with the mathematics and to understand and revise concepts through the questions that come. If a question comes, what is the sum of all the numbers that can be formed by the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4? You might know how many numbers can be formed, but you will not know what is the sum of those numbers. And उसका एक अच्छा formula होता है. So all of these things get revised when you attempt mocks. So that is what you need to do. Study plan is something which is very personalized, which is very, very, very subjective to you. Just because someone else is doing for 14 hours, they might not be doing the equivalent amount of studying that you are doing. Maybe they learned only, say, 20 concepts, but in 3 hours you've been able to learn 40 concepts because you had a very good base. So understand that distinction. Do not try to rely on random YouTubers to give you a timetable with a calendar because that is not a one size fits approach. If it was possible and if one calendar could solve all these issues, well, a lot of things in the world would have been easier, but it does not, right? So make your own calendar based
Can
on
I
what
just
your
say
strengths and
something?
weaknesses are.
This will literally be a learning for life. You cannot go, it is impossible for you to go at the same pace as everyone else. You're going to have your own pace. Some things are going to get done with earlier, some things you're going to get done with later. Even me, right now in college, it takes me 2 hours to cover something that my roommate can cover in 1.5 hours, right? Which is okay. It's fine. I'm taking longer. I'll give that 30 minutes more. Same for you. If you're the person who gets it done in 1 hour 30 minutes and somebody else has told you कि नहीं उसके लिए 3 hour रखो, you're at a disadvantage because you could have switched to the next thing, you could have learned something more. Same way, if somebody else told you 3 hours but it takes you 4 hours, now you're getting stressed for no reason. But all you needed was a little bit more of time, right? So don't think of a schedule. Create something for your own based on how your pace is. This is the reason why we have a target system, कि instead of targeting कि ये topic complete करना है, ये करना है, have more, what can I say, vague targets. Like it can just be, okay, easy questions I'm gonna solve 40 today. Or your target can be, I'm gonna attempt a mock and I'm gonna analyze at least 50% of it. ठीक है, 70% हो गया, good for me. So again, completely depends on your pace. This thing I really want to address. Okay, your parents won't allow you to go outside, and Indore is the only good college. You feel that way. Is it the truth? No. I don't think that's true at all. IIM Indore is not the only way that you can build your career. I get that you want to clear the exam and you should be trying to, but then ye fear hata do ki Indore is the only way. My second option, I didn't want to go outside of Indore. My second option was, okay, I'll enroll in the local college, which is DAVV, and I'll do an IIT Madras ka degree online. Like this, there are like 10 variations, at least 10 variations available to you to build your career. The only thing over there is you'll have to take initiative, you'll have to create that opportunity for yourself. So don't have this singular mindset कि I am इंदौर से जाते हैं तो career बस बन जाता है. You'll have to be more independent. Even after you're in Indore, you'll have to be more independent to make your own career, to decide what you want to do for yourself, and that will always help you be at a better place. I'm not denying that being at IIM Indore won't give you an head start, but it won't also give you a career that you're imagining, right? You'll still have to work, you'll still have to do things, and you can do these things outside of college, outside of IIM Indore as well. Okay, are we taking these?
No, yes, I've done.
Okay.
Low 25.
Which books to use? You can use Arun Sharma and R.D. Sharma, but very, again, not targeted towards IPMAT, so can be hard. You can check out our platform. I don't want to do as a hot blatant promotion, but yeah, we have more IPMAT focused
One
content.
thing I want to say
Okay.
for 2025 aspirants, if anyone is watching, a lot of people spend a lot of money to get into a coaching where you're not going to spend enough time. You might watch less than 20% of the resources out there because you just did not have the initiative to learn on your own. You need to build a consistency, you need to build a foundation, you need to know what basic logs are, you need to know what basic averages are. Because without which, and you go sit in a class, you're going to have a dropper, you're going to have a J student, you're going to have yourself, and no one is at any equal footing, and you're going to have an absolute 1 hour of torture where you cannot understand things. The coaching is going to make you feel like you're incompetent because you cannot answer basic questions, and you're going to ruin your own mental health with an amount of backlogs that you cannot clear. Understand that you can study on your own to fix foundational steps. You do not need extra pressure right now. You need to know your math very well. You need to be at a position where you do not ask a question, how do I manage board exams and IPMAT at the same time 4, 5, 6, 8, 12 months down the line. And for you to do that, you need to start now. There's literally and absolutely nothing stopping you from going on YouTube and searching topic name basics, topic name animated basic foundation, because that is the only thing that is going to be of any use or effect right now. Stop all the mentorship. Stop कि हमको इससे बात करना उससे बात करना है. You just need to know the topics, syllabus list है. You just need to search that online and start studying the basics, क्योंकि basics to IPMAT level छोड़ो. IPMAT level cannot be done if you do not know the basics. We've spoken to students, we give them 5 questions of very simple averages which you've done in your high school, but people are not able to do that. And if you're not able to do that, how do you expect yourself to jump to a coaching and do IPMAT level questions? That's just impossible and insane. So apologies for the rant, but that is how it is going to be. Go on YouTube, search for the topic, see the video online, pause the video, learn it. It is going to be effective. Do not try to find the most efficient strategy that you're going to do the best studying in the next 2 years. Does not work. You need to be effective. Efficiency छोड़ो, effectiveness होना चाहिए.
And
Okay.
consistency, like it's about studying every day. Okay, now these two deal with quants. First, if you're only giving GPMAT, make sure you're solving easy questions. You can also, a lot of these websites have like combination of bank exams. You can actually go solve those. Very easy questions. Similar advice, you give mocks. First of all, give mocks, learn through that. Same thing that we've talked about in the last 50 minutes. Apart from that, use YouTube to understand more concepts. What what questions to choose? This also I have mentioned, but questions that are short in length, that you can comprehend easily. Like it's a 3-line question. Don't take it in your first round. It'll take you like 30-40 seconds to just comprehend the question and try to figure out what it's asking. Take short questions. These are usually logarithm questions or sometimes averages or questions like that. Modulus questions that are easy are short. You'll be able to identify by just seeing them. You won't even have to read it. Pick those questions, or pick questions that you've seen, like as in the topics that you've done before, right? And for round two, it can be you view a question that say profit and loss. It's a topic that you have done. It seems doable, write it down. If it's not round two, you can always switch it to round three later. That you spend 1.5 minute, you won't be able to get it. Cross it off from your round two, put it in round three. Move on to the next question. Okay. Don't stop your preparation if you're not scoring well. Build better backups. Continue preparing for the exam because these are concepts that you'll use in all exams. Even in your, like, even if you decide to go into a college that is in your city, it'll probably have some entrance test. You'll use these concepts there. So don't give up. Try to do the best that you can.
Also, question number 30, estimates to clear the cutoff of Rohtak.
I think we covered.
Oh, wait, if exam is hard,
Huh.
cutoff goes down and vice versa. So just look at each mock and try to maximize your answers. That's literally what you need to do now. Don't take too much trash.
Yes.
Which row number are we on right now?
We're on 32.
A second.
Okay, how to manage 2 exams consistently, Indore and Rohtak, or CUET will also be there. You'll have a lot of exams to give. Find topics that are common to both of them. Do these topics first, because the moment that you do it for Indore, it'll automatically be clear for Rohtak. Second, you can, as in, you'll have to define a priority because it's humanly impossible to clear every exam. So, one, decide priority based on your preference of where you want to be. Second, based on your preparation so far. If you've done more for CBSE, your CUET is better. Give it more of your weightage, give it more of your time. If you feel ki IPMAT ka maths is something that you're a bit iffy on, Rohtak is something that you're very strong on. Now, I'm not saying switch your focus entirely to Rohtak, but give Rohtak more weightage as compared to what you would usually, because that the probability of you getting into Rohtak might be higher, right? So it's all about your personal preference and where you're standing with your prep right now. This is something that this will require self-awareness. You'll have to sit down and figure out for yourself. If you're not able to, you're facing a problem with arithmetic, again, go back to the concepts, watch a video on YouTube. While you're watching the video, solve the questions that they're solving. Come back and all of the questions that you weren't able to solve, see them again. Take help from outside if you can. If you have a school teacher who you're in touch with, if you have an elder brother, whoever who might be decent at maths, ask them how it's done. And that might ease your pain a bit. If you have never touched a chapter before, we understand that you won't be able to understand from the solution. But if it's an easy question, you definitely can, because it's the very basic, right? So try to understand it from there. This is what it's talking about, that a person feels demotivated and they feel confused how so many questions, so many random questions and concepts can be remembered. So it's not for every chapter, which is why you're tagging it. Okay, when I'm done with this chapter, I'll come back, right? So that 2 hour is to strategy build, it's not to score the best marks. And that time that you spend analyzing later is to organize your prep, learn concepts, and be able to come back to it once you've done more chapters from your syllabus or from revision. All's going well in VA, but kind of struggling in essay. Uh, would appreciate if you can give some tips. If you're specifically talking about essay, this is a section that has fewer questions. So in general, you're not overwhelmed as overwhelmed as you are in MCQ. You won't face the problem of going through every uh, again going through, like, a lot of the times in MCQ it might happen that you've not even gone through every question. Won't happen in essay most probably. If you're facing essay, if you're really struggling, then uh, again you need to identify what are the two reasons. Is it concepts? If it's concepts, go back, learn again. Is it strategy, as in, like, you're not going past the fifth question? In that way you're not, again, selecting the right questions. So I don't have anything novel to say for this section, but then it's again the same way that you would analyze any other. Analyze why this is wrong. Your VA score is good, it would help you really maximize the chances. So now your focus should be giving giving part of your time to VA to strengthen it even more, and part of it to QA and MCQ. Oh, sorry, for part of it to essay and MCQ, to make sure that you're clearing the cutoff, because you don't want to miss out on that. How do you revise efficiently? You're also preparing for CUET maths, and it's also different syllabus. You're struggling with MCQ section, DI part stuff aa jata hai. So don't depend on DI. Uh, every time you start your like section, you will give like 3 to 4 minutes. But again, that 3 to 4 minutes is if you can figure it out, if it clicks. And this click again is something that you do towards after you've done the easy question in the mock and not at the beginning, right? So don't depend on the DI part. DI are very unpredictable. Kabhi bahut hard aa jata hai, kabhi easy aa jata hai. Give it a chance, but don't depend on it. Think that the paper is of 25 questions. If you clear the DI set, obviously it shoots your grades up. But again, don't depend. How do you definitely give CUET for a backup? CUET math is not that hard. There will be a few topics that you'll have to do separately, but mostly whatever you do for Indore will suffice for CUET. It's genuinely, CUET is more about just knowing the basics of every aspect, and not about mastering in something. It's boring. Things are repetitive. Sorry, when you solve a mock, you feel like you know nothing. You're scoring decent. See, again, mocks are not as in, they don't follow a linear trend. Ki you're at 235, and in the next mock, you should, if you analyze it, you'll go like 4 marks higher. Doesn't work that way. Of course, we should try to, okay, in the next 5 marks, I should have a higher average. But again, might not happen. It's more about the individual difficulty level. So just give the mock, right? Give another mock. Try to somehow analyze key. I think ranks are a better way still, but then again, if you've already given a lot of mocks, you might not have mocks that can give you a good rank, because a lot of the times students don't give all of the mocks. But yeah, like, I think you're at a good position. Keep revising whatever you've done and keep solving new questions. figure out your strengths, strengthen them more, and you should be good to go. You got 96 in your first mock, and concept gap is a lot. How to proceed with it? Again, don't, this is something that we have mentioned. Keep giving mocks. You can reduce the frequency, maybe give it every 3 or 4 days. Spend 6 to 8 hours analyzing it. Depends on you how long it takes you. Spend that remaining 3 days just learning new concepts and revising what you've already done. How do you learn new concepts? Solve questions. Whatever resource you're doing, don't pick lectures first, pick questions first. You won't be able to figure out what you're doing wrong if you just watch a lecture. That won't add to your knowledge base the way that a question will. How to prepare for IPMAT and JIPMAT if I start from 28th April. You're also giving other entrance exams. Um, it, it's all right. Don't take too much stress again. Realize that there are many colleges and you don't have to depend on one particular college. But yeah, again, find topics that are common, prioritize those topics for both of the exams. Again, put weightage to IPMAT and JIPMAT. I'm assuming that IPMAT will be more. So solve topics that are not appearing in both for IPMAT first, and then whenever, say, maybe IPMAT gets too much, you can focus on JIPMAT because it's easier, it'll require less of your uh it'll require less of like energy in general. Being a fresher, can I still crack IPMAT? If yes, then how? I'm pretty good at QA, but score is horrible in VA. How can we improve? This is something that we have uh, addressed. So I think at the 50-minute mark of this video, it should answer it for you. What should be the strategy for a student who is done with revision for the last 40 days? You're not seeing any improvement in your VA marks despite putting daily effort. Again, for the first one, strategy is giving marks. Literally, that's the only thing. Analyze it again, concept based on what is going wrong otherwise. You're not seeing your scores improve. Think, process, essay. If you're not able to understand where you're going wrong, right? Write it down in a notebook. What is the process that you have for every question? Try to solve it. Maybe just open a test, a topic-wise test. Write down, okay, to solve this question, what are the steps that you're taking? This is without a timer. Write it down, see the answer, attempt the answer, see if it's right or wrong. For questions that you're getting right, that means the process is right? The moment that you get it wrong, try to understand while thinking for an answer, where did you go wrong? This will give you a better idea about where exactly you're going wrong. Second thing, if there's again someone who can help you out with the same, share it in the group, share that, okay, this was your process, where are you going wrong? You'll get help. Trust me, just ask for help. You'll get help. You'll get a second opinion about what you can do right.
Which row are you in now?
54.
54.
How many do we have?
I've answered the
we have
ones niche mein thoda.
I can, but it's still a lot. I think we might need to also switch it back to WhatsApp. We can actually reach out.
Yes, the number is over here. You can always message.
No, even for these, I think we can reply back on WhatsApp. Are you there?
Yep.
I think we should do that because there will be a lot of students and it might also not be addressed to the student who submitted the question.
Agree. So we'll just write it over here and we'll just quickly run through everything that is remaining.
We can.
Fat se.
Wait, run through 50, more than 50 questions?
No, I have done niche में a lot of them. You went
Yeah,
कौन सा number?
54.
Okay. How to polish the topics which are super important for IPMAT mocks. Mocks mean you're going to get a mixture of different questions, try to solve all of them. It's going to be very, very helpful. And IPMAT does not have important questions per se, but we see a couple of topics come again and again. So make sure you know it, but do not rely on the fact that is always going to come. Sometimes you might get something else. And this is discussed before. Please add detailed analysis features for sectional test as well. Few mocks, yes, we have done previous year paper. Sectional test is unique to you, so every time you click on attempt sectional, you get a new list of questions. So that is what is happening. We'll try to see what we can do in order to help you understand what you're doing over there. Do not worry about different marks and your fluctuating mock scores. It is normal because the difficulty of the mock also fluctuates. If your mocks did not fluctuate, then it would be a cause of concern, or it could be that all the mocks are given are of the same level of difficulty. Both IIM Indore and North Campus due depends on what you want in your life. IIM Indore
Yes,
just
and
has
depends on your financial background as well. If it's some, like, if you would be in debt by going into IIM Indore, it's better that you go to DU.
Yep. So you have statewide scholarships like MMBY. And if anytime you feel stressed about verbal ability, try to attempt a past year paper. A lot of people share that they get a little more marks over there because 2023 was easier. But don't just depend on easy questions to come. It's like when there are easy questions, people tend to solve it right. A little bit of difficulty, and then the English, you either know the word or you do not know the word, or you try to figure out the meaning at times. So because of that, you have that disparity in marks. So the answer to most of the questions are going to be boring but effective. Keep practicing. That is what is going to make
I
the most
think
difference.
what we should do is we should actually, maybe we can take the last few questions because those people might still be there. I feel all of these were submitted a while back.
ठीक.
So the people that we're addressing to might not be here. So let's take the last 10-15 questions.
ठीक है.
Higher chance that the people are over here, and then we can end the live, and then anything that we have not addressed, we'll text them on WhatsApp.
Cool.
Okay, so I'm starting with the end, and I'm giving like 5 minutes if you have a question, and then we can also close the form.
Wait,
so
close
that
the form. We'll just take it from chat abhi.
Chat?
Like the live video ka chat. उसमें से हम देख लेंगे whoever has a question and then we'll close it.
Yeah, but these are also recent, right? So the very end wala. I'll just quickly go through these. Giving RC from GMAT Club, 600, 700 level is sufficient. You don't have to go beyond that. Yeah, IIM Bangalore is planning something for undergraduate. It's not been released. There's no information about it yet. So again, very risky. It won't be something like IPMAT. It'll be probably a 4-year degree in liberal arts. When are you adding LR sectionals? Right now, the sectionals and topic-wise tests are IPMAT Indore only. Sectionals for LR might not be there this year. Mock strategies for sections in Rohtak and JIPMAT. Unlike Indore and Rohtak and JIPMAT, you need much higher accuracy, which means that you can't leave any topics out. So in Rohtak and JIPMAT, if anything, if there is a topic that appears, you need to make sure that you're clear with it so that you can maximize your score. So this means that you don't have to go to the level that you need to for IPMAT, but you still need to significantly cover all of the topics. Here I wanted to ask, would you agree if one will attempt all the marks in AB, he'll come through almost all the questions which can come from any chapter? The reason is there could be some loopholes in my preparation where I have missed some types of questions, and if those questions come in AB marks, I'll eventually learn them. Yes, if you go through all of the questions and you solve all of the questions, as in you understand the solution, you will be set for the exam. I can guarantee that, because there is a high variation in the kind of questions that we're asking. And even if like a concept is not directly appearing in the exam, you would have done a similar concept before. right? So it will give you the ability to figure it out even if you've not done the exact same kind of question before. You're facing problems in VA suggest we've gone through it again around 50-minute mark of this video. You'll be able to understand how to deal with burnout, especially being a dropper, giving efforts for almost a year. It's been really tough. Uh, Again, don't, I think most of the times that this happens is again the mental health thing that I was talking about. Just give, like, just don't think about clearing one exam, think about your long term goals and then think about everything that you want to do, right? Don't think of IIM Indore to be like everything that you need in life. Think of it as a stepping stone that will help you get there, and think of other 5 ways that can be that stepping stone for you. The moment that you start thinking this way, you become much more relaxed about your preparation, and it puts you at a better position. So, and especially if you're a dropper, it can get a little lonely, but realize that just 40 days more, if you give it 8 to 9 hours every day, there's a high possibility that you'll be able to crack it. Just taking last two, asking questions about ECAs. When do you have to fill the ECA form? For Ranchi, it's when you're applying. For Indore, it's before the interview. And yeah, you don't have to worry about ECAs much. Most of these colleges are more focused on academics. We've made videos on that on our platform, so do check them out as well. You've tried to, you weren't able to complete it. Again, this means that mindset, you're trying to give a mock to score the best marks, does not work that way. You need to understand that you're giving a mock to learn more, not to score the marks that you will in the actual exam. So just be calm and give the best that you can. Oh, you've been practicing for QA, you have not done VA much. You're scoring around 70. Don't get depressed, first of all. Scoring 70 in VA means that you're at a decent point in English. And you having not prepared at all means that you've probably not gone through any strategy to answer VA questions, right? So now just go through for every like overarching subtopic in VA, go through the strategies that are used, very well explained in YouTube videos. This will help you really individually target uh, individually target a subtopic. So yeah, don't get depressed, you have enough time. Think of technique more than thinking of becoming better in English. Don't think, "Ki, how do I improve my ability in English?" Think, okay, with my, even if I have my current ability of English, how can I solve the mock in a way that I get the question right? Because there's only one right answer, right? So how do you eliminate the remaining three answers? All of this will happen with practice, with really sitting down, understanding what you're doing wrong. So yeah, is it okay to leave any topic? No, do the very basics at least. If it's a topic that is literally like mind boggling, you're not able to do it at all, different thing, then you can leave it. Try to come back to it at a later point of time. Um, Your mocks are stagnant. Again, we talked about this in the entire first 50 minutes. Two reasons it could happen: concepts or strategy. If you've analyzed every mock based on strategy, if you're attempting it right or not, then it's your concepts. You need to revise, you need to learn more topics. But again, this means that you don't stop giving mocks, you're still going to give mocks. It's just that you're going to reduce the frequency and focus more on learning new concepts. And this we had addressed. How many seats in IIM Indore? 150 in total, plus seats for international students.
Also, just wanted to say one thing. Also, just close up. There's Krishna who wants to find his question number. He's here and he wants to know the answer.
Yeah.
Just scroll up slowly and he can find out. People, do not look at anything with the objective of ye sufficient hai ya nahi, because you cannot really draw a boundary or a limit of topics. Are we saying that every type of concept will be addressed in our question? Probably not. And that's true for almost every coaching out there. But what it will do is, these are necessary. If you do not do any of these or any equivalent material, then you would be in a worse off position. So do not look at sufficiency, look at necessity. And that is what is going to help you out the most. And if you do all the 25 marks, which is going to have 90 into 25, which is around 2250 questions. And alag se practice question में we have 5000 questions. And if you are in a position where you can solve all of this and you know the answer, then obviously you're going to be at a very good position.
It will cover most of your concepts. Like I can say 70 to 80% yes, and that remaining 20-30% will completely, you will be at a position where you can figure it out, because those concepts draw from the concepts discussed in these questions, right? So yeah, it's literally about practice, but it doesn't mean that you've solved that question once and you've forgotten about it, right? Just solving it once won't help. You will have to come back to it. You will have to make sure that you're still practicing more similar questions to retain that same information. Was Krishna able to
75.
find? Okay, 75. Let's go there.
In the mocks, I do feel that verbal and LR sections easier without any specific preparation for that. But in quants, I can't be like that. I sure know quants needs a lot of practice. But for JIPMAT 2024, my mindset is, okay, let's not rush for the syllabus completion, even if it's 4 or 5 topics. Let's be strong in those. So JIPMAT,
is my okay?
Definitely.
Can I take this?
Please.
Okay, so basically, one, yes, your mindset is correct. You don't need to rush through it, because rushing through it will mean that you will probably go watch a lecture and not sit down and solve questions. Won't help you in the longer term. Yes, think of it ki, okay, these are the topics that I need to do. Maybe first pick the topics that you already know to an extent. Second, just ki, okay, these are the topics you're going to do, does not mean that you ignore the rest, right? So sorry, you ignore giving marks. So again, defining the strategy, you decide ki, okay, you'll give a JIPMAT mark every 2 days. This will help you build strategy, and the strategy here needs to be that you need to solve as many questions as possible, right? So in JIPMAT and Rohtak, you can aim ki, okay, every subsequent mock, I want to make sure that I've solved. Of course, this again will depend on difficulty to an extent, but you can aim ki, okay, I need to get closer to solving 40 questions, because over time, JIPMAT and Rohtak has become about scoring close to full marks, right? So that will be the case, which means that you need to solve, which means that you need to cover most of the topics. But here, the difference as compared to IPMAT is you'll probably not have to go till the hard level, right? Most JIPMAT and Rohtak questions are the easy level of IPMAT Indore, right? Or the conceptual level of IPMAT Indore. So this means that you need to spend more time solving questions that come off this level than actually sitting and mastering one topic. So start your focus from 5 to 6 questions, do them aram se, do them well, but also don't go to an extent where you've done mastery in that topic, because that might not be required for JIPMAT. But of course, if you're preparing for Indore along with JIPMAT, that changes. In that case, yes, go up to the mastery level. And yeah, I think that sums it up. I don't think that you won't have to do all of the topics. You will, but then there's no need to get overwhelmed with it. If you make a shorter term plan, okay, these are the topics that I want to cover first, and then I'll decide for the next, you will be much more freer. You'll feel much more freer. You'll feel things are much more accomplishable, as compared to you just thinking, nahi, as 20 topics, I need to complete them in 40 days. go slow by slow, achieve and then decide, achieve and then decide. Yes. Anyone else who has a question here, or we can take it up on WhatsApp for everyone.
हाँ, we'll take it up on WhatsApp. एक बार वो platform दिखा दो. We have a lot of features, so thank you for sticking with us. We have 50 people left. We are putting a lot of effort in making
Yes.
something which is
I'll talk about what we're having.
Yeah,
I
go.
think we can talk about. Oh, this is again something that's free. This is word of the day. Every day on your road, you submit a question, and we pick the best sentences, which you can again read. Uh, Creating a question does help you a lot as compared to just learning vocab, right? So, very recommended for you to do, gives you much more clarity. Uh, Apart from that, we have a leaderboard. So you get to know your rank overall in the platform based on the number of questions that you have solved, and you get oranges for every question that you're solving. And you have a leaderboard to see the top 10 performers on the platform. Next is the target. So you can decide a daily target for yourself. So suppose you want to solve around 30 questions on our platform every day, or 40 questions, which is how we recommend it to be. Decide you can accomplish that accomplishment, sorry, would mean solving about, say, in total 70 questions or something of that sort to get. Wait, I'm saying it so wrong.
What
How do I say?
happened?
That would mean like getting 150 or less oranges. So because you get 5 oranges for every question, right? So create a target of how many oranges you want to accomplish every day, and based on that, your streak will go up. It's a nice way to track yourself, of course, and topic-wise tests. Again, thought from the perspective of solving questions. Huge focus on solutions. We really want to make sure that you
Open a
can
practice
learn.
test. We have people go
I
away
did
when
it.
we talk about. Uh, Sorry.
It's probably because they might already have the
Haha.
platform. So you can also report the question if you found the solution to be insufficient. We try our best to get it changed the fastest that we can. And yeah, so that's about, I think we've covered everything.
So ये है unlimited sectionals है. We have question bank of 5000. उसमें से we choose a couple of questions. Adaptive है. बहुत fun है, and this is what you need in the last 50 days. Max can only be learned if you take a pencil, if you take a paper, and you put it
Yeah, like I
together
think
and solve a lot of questions.
people complain ki our platform has too much that they can complete in the next 40 days. But you need to realize that what I spoke of, you need to complete new chapters and you need to revise the chapters that you've done already. Topic wise test literally solves both, because one, this is starting from the very basic level, goes up to the hard level. So it allows you to learn concepts in a slow pace, allows you to revise. Second, building strategy. Oh shit, I forgot to mention while I was in that first 50-minute session, when you're supposed to give a sectional and when you're supposed to give a mock. When you feel like your strategy is lacking in a particular section, like somebody was talking about them not being able to do essay properly, give sectionals. Give as many sectionals as you can to just build strategy. My MCQ was so bad. I used to cry every time. MCQ fifth question was the place where I would stop my mock because I was so overwhelmed with the number of questions in that section. Sat down, gave MCQ sectionals to build strategy. It didn't happen in the first go. When you're giving a sectional, don't think about wasting a sectional. Give it to build strategy, to not focus on your scores, but to focus on how best to put the paper. Of course, giving sectionals otherwise is also important. You feel ki, okay, this is a section that you're lacking in, but you don't have 2 hours right now, or you have a mock schedule of 3 mocks every day, but you still want some extra practice in this particular section. You want some extra practice in VA, give a VA sectional. Pick your weakest section and give sectionals for that at a higher frequency than the mocks. So this is for that. This is to get you more used to the timer, get you more comfortable with the timer without directly bombarding a mock on you. So yeah, that's about the sectionals. But yeah, I think that covers pretty much
Yep.
everything.
On that note, need to have dinner.
Yeah.
And if you have any more questions, just WhatsApp it to us. And we also have a
Yes.
24-hour free access available on our platform. So today is the last day, and afterwards we'll probably not be doing this. So if you want 24 hours to explore our platform, just message us on WhatsApp. Or wait, let me just put the link
There,
over
it's in
here.
the description. The first link in the description. You
Huh.
can fill that up, get the free trial. Also, somebody asked, is it advisable to write the question and the solution? Fun fact, I had a book. It had like essay very nicely solved, but like solution. Not recommended. Will take too much of your time. Just mark it individually, mark it in an Excel so you can go back on the same platform and try to solve it from the first go again. You can obviously write down the best method. If it's like a short trick, make a separate notebook where you can write that down, but not the entire question and not the entire question and solution. Also, somebody asked lectures. I would say even they have topic tests. Even we have topics that give the questions first. They might lectures here, but then lectures are literally 2-3 hours, and you won't be solving it on your own, right? So not recommended.
Oh shit, I could speak. I was just typing so fast to reply to people on the chat. देखो, important topics, WhatsApp us. कुछ भी है, WhatsApp us. You want a group link, WhatsApp us. Or look at the description. You want
And
the
the
free
thing
access?
is, we are pretty active.
Very active. तो ज़्यादा ही active है.
Also, if you don't know Hindi, not a concern. Most professors, not most, all professors teach in English, and then they will ask, if they switch to Hindi, they will ask like, does everybody understand? If somebody says no, they switch back. So not an issue at all. And you do have like very strong groups from different regional places in India, and I think that's the favorite part about IIM. You have a very diverse set of people coming here.
Yes, you should try out Jammu or Budgia Gaurav. Do not worry too much. You just need to work on your academics and be exceptional over there. That is what is going to be the most important thing. Do not settle for mediocrity.
Okay.
Yep. Yes, Ananya, that will be okay. Attempt a diagnostic mock, and for any more queries, you can always WhatsApp us. Thank you so much. God, every life becomes
Also,
2 hours.
yes, padhai karo is valid for a short period of time.
Yes.
Even if you're a 2025 student, you can avail it. And yeah, anything that we have not been able to answer, WhatsApp it to us. We will help you out. Feel free to ask anything.
Wait, just one last thing. Concept nahi aata, to how can we attempt test without the lectures? Because when you open a test, the first question that is going to come is going to be, what is social log base to 8? And even if you do not know and you just click on submit to see the answer, it will explain step by step ki ye answer kaise aaya. So you're going to learn by the solutions. You're going to learn these steps. It is going to force you to learn ki ye answer kaise aaya for the most basic questions. And if you do not know even 5th standard, 8th standard mathematics, ki you do not know what 8 by 2 was, then yes, you will have to focus on your base extensively. But if you know your basic high school mathematics, just jumping into it would be amazing. Right?
What's the duration?
1 hour
We've
55.
been live for 2 hours.
We have 3 free mocks, and everything else is in our pack. You can get it from 9. Please answer the
Please
last question.
answer.
Chavi, if you were asking, I think you were asking.
The 3 marks only.
Oh, okay. Basil, you can try that. If you are still struggling with the conceptual level topic test,
See, wait 2 seconds. Start with solving questions. अगर बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, like बिल्कुल समझ में नहीं आ पा रहा है, go to the lecture. Don't start off with the lectures because they won't teach you in the same efficiency as topic wise test. We're not saying कि ignore कर दो एकदम lectures को. We're saying कि it will be more beneficial for you to solve questions and learn.
ठीक फिर, we'll call it a night. Thank you so much. I should go have dinner. ठीक है, Tara guys, have fun. Thank you so much for joining us. कोई भी doubt है, you can क्या बोलते हैं, WhatsApp it to us and apply to get 9% off. And if you want 24-hour free access, today is the last day of this offer. Just fill the Google form in the video का description. You want to know the most important topics, हमारा WhatsApp group में है. Join the WhatsApp group. Your mobile number will be kept private. Do not worry whatsoever. So, Basil, but you know about the MRT diagram and friend approach ऐसे चीज़. So, about the क्या बोलते हैं PRT वो person rate time वाला thing. Have you tried the topic test? Because we actually explain how step by step it works, and to supplement that we have a 9-minute video. And if you look at friend approach, just before the question there's a huge explanation with a diagram and how it works. So वो नहीं है. So if you want that picture, just WhatsApp us and say कि you are Basil from the YouTube live. We'll send that solution so you can have a look at what it does. Chavi Sharma, out of curiosity, did you join coaching? Co-founded a coaching. So कुछ motivation दो. Motivation से कुछ नहीं होगा, discipline से होगा. So I think we've spoken before. Identify, right? I think I don't want to reveal his personality here. Will quant PYQ concepts be repeated? See, we do see some repetition. कभी-कभी like वो circle का diagram में question आ जाता है, ये आ जाता है. तो वही चीज़ है.
Modulus was repeated, but again can't say for sure. No?
Yeah, you can schedule a mock daily if you're able to analyze all of it.
Yeah, please do that. The more mocks, but then that
Should
is
not
not
burn you out.
you just giving a mock, not analyzing it. Then no.
ठीक है guys, we have 45 people, so like डाल दो यार, and we'll call it a
Yes,
night.
please. Only 137. Sad. No, I'm just kidding. It's good.
Any coaching? See, I didn't study, so that was an issue from my end. And Vani focused on
Yeah.
self-study with a book. She locked herself in a room without internet.
I
and
solved questions. Like
Huh.
that's what I say. Like the first time around, I saw lectures, not very helpful. Second time around, just solved questions, shit ton of them, revised. I think I cleared the exam.
So geometry. Look
Krishna
at
is
make sure you do your
probably-
easy stuff first, because that's very very important. Geometry ऐसे मत करो कि पूरा skip हो जाएगा. थोड़ा basics याद रखो कि you know कि if a triangle is there, the sum of two sides is going to be कुछ तो था more than the third side या ऐसा कुछ. Right now I'm very tired and I'm very hungry. I have not had dinner, so I'll jump now. It's 10:30. Thank you so much all. Tara, bye bye. Good night. I'm ending the stream now. If shifting your branch NDA to IPMAT, like if you want to write the exam of IPMAT, why not just write it?
I have now given thumbs up for 10 minutes straight.
Okay, good night, bye bye, thank you. Oh, we had 2,000
Good
people
night.
watch this. Cool. Bye bye. Ending stream. 3, 2, 1. Get AfterBoards. Done.